A murder-suicide investigation continues here in Wichita. A week ago today, Rachel Johnson's body was found inside of a vehicle believed to be a victim of domestic abuse. Friday, a Hayes police sergeant, Scott Hyman, was laid to rest. He was killed on the job while responding to a domestic violence disturbance. Just yesterday, people came together for the Purple Mile Walk in Wichita. It's an annual event where the community comes together to honor those who lost their lives to domestic violence. Advocates say the issue with DV, it's complicated. It runs deep. It touches a lot of lives. 1 in 4 women and 1 in 7 men have been a victim of physical abuse with their partner. But when will that change? That's what a Wichita woman is asking her sister, Brandi. She passed away 6 years ago this month at the hands of her boyfriend. She shares Brandi's story with fact finder investigator Nat Lawless. That we do want to warn you, what you're about to watch may be hard to see.
A relatively silent drive across Wichita. For a moment when we hope to break that silence. You got that?
Oh, hey, thank you.
I've known Shannon Reed for years.
Well, I'm glad you can make some time for us.
Oh, we have greeters. That's nice. Yeah. A passionate woman who works with children in foster care. She has always found ways to help others. I'm going to adjust this cord just a tiny bit on your jacket. Sadly, she can't touch them all, even those nearest to her, which makes this story so tough. To know the journey for her younger sister, Brandi, someone she could not help, this time of year is a painful reminder. So sad, taking place, almost 6 years ago now.
Yeah, it'll be 6 years Halloween night.
Topeka, Halloween night, 2019. Shannon's sister Brandi took her kids out trick-or-treating. Hours later, she didn't show up for work. Police were called for a welfare check at her West Topeka home.
They kept pounding, nothing happened, and eventually the police broke the door in. And when they broke in the door, they found my sister under a blanket, and he was laying next to her. I got a phone call, and I looked down, and I had missed like 15 phone calls. And I'm like, well, that's not normal. So really, you know, when you're in a theater, you're like, hello. And then it was my daughter, and she was just screaming, she's dead, she's dead. And I'm like, who's dead? What are you talking about? What's going on? And I start screaming in the theater. I'm like, what? That's not possible. That's not possible. No, that's not possible.
36-year-old corrections officer Brandi Perkle, dead. Family assumed it was an accident. That was until they were making funeral arrangements. They wanted to have an open casket.
She has been beaten so badly. There is not a bone on her body that has not been broken. And she is completely black. So there's nothing I can do to fix this. And so we had no idea at that point that she had been abused. We had no idea at that point that she had been murdered.
I mean, you found out from the funeral director.
And I found out from the funeral director. The police didn't tell us. And my next phone call was to the police, the detective, and I gave him a piece of my mind. Yeah. I was like, you don't have an advocate that could have actually told us what was going on. You had to have us learn from the funeral director that we couldn't have an open casket.
They later learned the man next to Brandi's body, her ex, Jeremy Lardner, would be responsible for her death. He pleaded guilty to second-degree murder, aggravated battery, and kidnapping, sentenced to 48 years in prison. Before this, court records show he has a long history of domestic violence in 2012, 2013, and 2014. Shannon says the punishments are not enough.
If the charges would have stuck, he would have still been in jail and my sister would have never met him. But I can't think like that.
Brandi struggled with abusive relationships her whole life. Court records show she went to work with a black eye a month before her death.
We finally came to to blows about it. And I'm like, I can't watch you get hurt anymore. I just can't. I said, I must love you more than you love yourself because I just can't watch it anymore. And so we didn't talk after that. So I didn't have a chance to say anything to her. I didn't have a chance to tell her I loved her or anything. It was just gone. Oh, you know what? I bet there's some pictures in here.
Yet Shannon is here today, carrying on her little sister's memory.
Oh, here's one. It's the whole crew.
To remind others of their worth and to save lives.
She's right there in the end. She did not know how special she was, and she had no idea how many people loved her.
What do you love or what do you miss about her?
I miss her laugh. She had a wonderful laugh. It was beautiful. It would take the whole house. I mean, you'd hear it probably across the street. It was so loud and so boisterous. She was a generally happy person. She was, which makes what happened behind closed doors even more heartbreaking. To know somebody was breaking her like that, breaking her soul, breaking her body.
And Shannon said her sister isolated herself from others. That's just one of the many warning signs that advocates say to be on the lookout for. Isolation, having an extremely jealous partner, being prevented from making your own decisions, and pressure to do things like drink. The need is big in our community. Comparing August 2024 to August of this year, the Wichita Family Crisis Center saw a 160% increase in the number of people staying in a shelter.
It is really challenging to meet that demand. We never turn anyone away because we would never want anyone to have to return to abuse or have their life in danger. I was hoping we would, have too much room, but that hasn't been the case.
And here at Fact Finder, we want you to know that there is help available 24/7. The Wichita Family Crisis Center is available for help. You can call 316-267-SAFE. You could also reach advocates at the National Domestic Violence Hotline at 800-799-SAFE.